In this video, we're going to compare dirt, delay, and reverb on the Headrush and HX effects. Hey guys, this is Dr. McFarland and welcome back to the channel. And if you have been tuning in here lately, you have seen me compare the Headrush unit and the Helix, and more specifically the gig board and the HX effects. But for this scenario, I'm actually just going to use the Headrush Pedalboard and the HX effects. And what we're doing here, I have an effects loop in the signal chain of both units. So I'm basically using the Headrush as an amplifier, as well as some certain effects. Then I'm using the HX effects in the 4-cable method going into the Headrush. So that way I'm getting some effects going into the front end of the amp right here, and some effects going into the, after the amp, which is where your reverb and delays would normally go. Okay. So right now I have a green JRC, a purple black op, a orange white boost, and then a red DC distort. And those colors are going to correlate with the HX effects, Scream 808, Monitor, Tima, and Compulsive Drive. Okay. Then you'll see I have the effects loop here, and I have a reverb I can turn on and off over there as well. Okay. So what I'm basically going to do is just kind of compare a similar style of overdrives. Obviously, Scream 808 and a JRC overdrive is a tube screamer. The Monitor I matched up with the Black Op, which is your Rat style pedal. And I know the Rat and the Monitor are very, different styles of overdrive, but they both have 3 different parameters, and that's what I'm kind of going off of right now. So we'll have your distortion, your cut, or your mid-range, sweep, and then your overall volume. And the same goes for the Monitor. You got your gain, tone, and level. So we're still accomplishing the same kind of thing. And then the Timmy, I'm going to compare that to my white boost, which is going to be my, very mid-range neutral style pedal. And then the compulsive drive, which is more of your distortion, I'm going to compare that to the DC distort on the Headrush. So here we go without further ado. So here is the clean amp with no effects on at all. Okay, and I could make this a little bit cleaner. I'm using the deluxe gain mod. I think it's a Fender, possibly. And what I'm doing is just adjusting the output. So that way we have a nice clean tone and we're not coloring too much of the other distortion pedals. All right, here we go. So here's the green JRC from the Headrush. All right, and here's the Scream 808. All right, let's just check the tonalities. Okay, you might be saying to yourself, well, one sounds brighter, one sounds darker. There's a lot of little nuances in there. We're mainly just listening to, overall level, overall tone. Then I do have the gains both at around 50% right here. So check the level here. I got this level at 6.7. This one's around 75%. All right, so to my ears, that is pretty indistinguishable. Both companies are trying their darndest to recreate these effect sounds, one for one, pretty much, as close as you can get, right? But the main role of a tube screamer is to simply push the front end of an amplifier. So as long as you have that effect on your unit, then there's really not a whole lot of other variation that you would need to accomplish that same goal. All right, so just keep that in mind. All right, a tube screamer does what a tube screamer does, regardless of what unit it's on. Okay, so just that's the way it is. All right, here's a black op. And we're gonna adjust the cut. All right, now let's turn on the monitor. We're gonna raise the level up a little bit. Alright, so I'm just trying to match the level and overall tonality. Okay. Black up. Alright, so you can achieve the same level of brightness and volume just by adjusting the cut knob or the tone knob on the monitor. Alright, the monitor definitely has more mid-range going on. That one's still a little scooped sounding to me versus the monitor. But there's really no other option to go with on the Headrush unless we just want to compare that to the Tube Screamer. Let's go ahead and do that. So here's your Tube Screamer again. And here's the monitor. Okay, so the Klon monitor, mystical animal, whatever you want to call it, is going to have a mid-range hump a little higher in the frequency range than what your typical Tube Screamer is going to have. So just keep that in mind. There's really nothing like it. So if you really want that monitor sound and the Headrush doesn't have it right now, well, then get a Helix or get a HX Effects or HX Stomp, whatever. But they're both going to do very, very similar things. So let's go ahead and do the JRC one more time. Okay, what if I raise the high tone? All right, check this out. I'm going to bring in an EQ. And we're going to boost this one. So we're going to boost some high mids a little bit. Like that. Okay, so here's the monitor. Okay, I was really going for kind of boosting those upper mids a little bit. Okay, other than overall volume, sounds pretty close. All right, very cool. All right, so that's perfectly fine. Here's the black op again. Okay, which is still giving us more of a scoopy kind of sound. All right. Sounding pretty close. All right, let's do the Tima, which I actually had the Scream 808 on the whole time. Oh well, that's the way it goes. All right, so here's the Tima. And here's the white boost. That's not what I wanted. I want that. Turn the gain up. So this has a treble and a bass, just like the Tima does. This has a bass cut and a treble cut. Alright, this is going to be a little more mid-range heavy. But we can do what we can. Alright, and also notice that this has 3 different clipping options as well, so that's it's going to be a little bit different. Let's see if the DC Distort lends itself a little bit better to what the Tima does. Alright, let's boost some treble. Okay, so the DC Distort's a little closer. You're still getting that. Let's put this after everything. I love the Timmy pedal from Paul Cochran. It's just great. So really can't outdo it. There's nothing like it unless you just want to have the exact same pedal going on here. All right, so with the compulsive drive, I usually have the gain down pretty low. All right, so here's the compulsive drive. I'm gonna turn the level up a little bit. That sounds great. Alright, so the DC Distort compared to the compulsive drive actually has more mid-range, and the compulsive drive is a little more scoop, so that's kind of interesting. Here's the compulsive drive again. Alright, what version is that? Version 2 is a little more mid-range printout, so I should do it again. Alright, both of those sound pretty similar. Let's compare the compulsive drive to the Black Op. here's version 4 compared to the Black Op. This has more gain. Let's crank the gain up. Alright, I'm not sure if the HXFX has an RC booster anywhere in it, but let's go ahead and compare some delay effects real fast. And we'll slide these over. So we're going to do let's go with a simple delay. That's going to be somewhat comparative to a dynamic delay, which is your basic digital delay. Alright, so let's go to signal flow, and we're going to go here. We're going to say good delay, mono, simple delay. Okay, sounds nice. And we do have a low cut and a high cut, so let's bring down the high cut a little bit. Kind of smooth out the high end. Here's your simple delay. Alright, so it's on core notes. And let's make sure this one's on core notes, which it is. Turn the feedback down. Okay. Here's a simple delay again. Alright, so they both sound pretty similar. Turn that feedback up a little bit. And this one. Alright, cool. I like that one a lot. So I think where the Helix and HXFX and HX Stomp shines is the reverb overall. The reverbs in the Headrush are great, but they're very, very standard. They don't have a lot of modulation type stuff with it or whatnot. So if we go to, let's just go to like a church reverb. Okay. Okay. And let's go over here. Let's add in another reverb on the HX. We'll go to the legacy and see if there's I can't remember if there's a church setting. Okay, I don't see a church setting. There's a plate though. Let's go to room. See what that does. We'll crank up the decay. Alright, let's compare that to a room over here. Let's do small room. Okay. Alright, there's our room there. Here's our room here. It's gonna be hard to compare these just because they're not exact, but it's pretty close. Alright, so there's a small room reverb. Alright, both pretty good. Alright, so let's do one more reverb here. And let's go to air reverb. And here's a room right here. Let's check that out. Alright, you can tweak them out pretty close. Alright, very good. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to simply crank up the decay. Let's listen to that. Alright, so you can get the decays about the same length, about the same tonality. But really what I want to concentrate on now is this glitz. Because it is so like out there, it's very cool sounding. So here's the glitz. Okay, and that's so that has a lot more character than the air reverb does. So let's find a different model. Let's go to church. And then here's the air reverb. Okay. It just doesn't quite have it. It is dark. A lot darker. Okay, here's the glitz again. Yeah, it just has this extra element of like coolness going on with it. So it'd be great if the Headrush would include some kind of like modulation style parameters. I mean, you can always add in, there's a shimmer kind of sound. Let's do like a low. So there's a little shimmer thing going on. Let's turn the mix down. Alright, that's not bad. Let's go ahead and add in, let's do an octoverb, which is a reverb I've been using for a long time. You gotta go to legacy, and we're gonna go down to octo. So check this out. This is pretty sick. So here's the octo by itself. Alright, and then here's a similar thing you can do with the shimmer and the air reverb. Just make sure we turn the mix up a little bit. And then here's the shimmer or the octo one more time. And here's the octo one more time. Alright, let's kick in some Let's kick in some delay. We'll add in some air and shimmer from the HR. Okay, let's add in a cool little auto swell, which I like using. Alright, cool. They are definitely both capable of having some otherworldly type of sounds, especially when you're using the shimmer or the smart harmony. Either way you go, you can find ways to get the sound you want. I would say that the overdrives on the HX effects or the Helix overall, they're definitely mimicked after real pedals. What you're getting with the Headrush is more of like an Avid Pro Tools version of like distortions, like the DC Distort. You know, that's a Headrush original, which doesn't sound bad. It's just, you know, it's just what it is. It's not based on anything in particular. The white boost is based on the RC booster, and the black op is obviously Rat pedal, and then the green JRC is a tube screamer. Some things are very similar, some things are completely different, and it's just a matter of, hey, what are you going to use in the musical context to get your ideas across, okay? And that's really what it comes down to. Both units are great. You can get similar tones. I do like the Headrush as far as the touch screen. The Helix and HX and HX Stomp are still very easy to get around. You just got to kind of push buttons and turn knobs versus just using your finger to slide things around on the screen. But that's not really a deal breaker. Feel free to subscribe to my channel down below and leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are of the Shootout so far. Just keep the conversation going, and let's learn about different units and how you can use them in a musical context. So I am Dr. McFarland. I will see you in the next video. Keep rocking.
Hey, wait a second. Before you go, be sure to check out the description down below. There's a lot of really cool links, and definitely be sure to check out my website, drmcfarlandstudios.com. See ya.